Cracker Barrel, a brand story, nostalgia, controversy, and the price of modernity. Hello friends, today we will talk about a famous American restaurant chain, Cracker Barrel, which recently sparked a new debate across the country by changing its logo. Why did this change happen? What is the story behind it? And most importantly, why did it make people so angry? In this video, we will journey from the foundation of Cracker Barrel to the personal story of its founder, Dan Evins, and its current state. So stay with us to understand this entire story in detail. The legacy of Dan Evins, the foundation of an American institution. The story of Cracker Barrel is deeply connected to the personal experiences and business acumen of its founder, Dan Wood Evins. Born in Smithville, Tennessee on October 11, 1935, Evans' early childhood and career revolved around his family's influence. He graduated from Castle Heights Military Academy in Lebanon, Tennessee, and later attended Auburn University. Beginning his professional journey, he worked for a time as a representative for his uncle, U.S. Representative Joe L. Evins, who was a significant part of the conservative Southern politics of that time. After this experience, Dan joined his family's oil company, where his revolutionary plan began. While working as a representative for Shell Oil in 1969, Dan Evins developed a concept that would not only improve gas sales, but also provide a comfortable and memorable experience for traveling families. He opened the first Cracker Barrel Old Country Store on Highway 109 in Lebanon, Tennessee. It was a unique business model that combined a gas station, a restaurant, and a gift shop. With a loan of just $40,000, the first restaurant began making a profit within a month of opening. This concept was inspired by Evans' childhood memories, aiming to create an atmosphere like a traditional country store, where people would gather around a cracker barrel or a barrel of soda crackers and chat. Evans' personality and family background directly shaped the Cracker Barrel brand identity. The brand was not just a commercial concept, it was a reflection of the founder's personal memories and values. Its Old Country Store theme, inspired by his childhood memories, and the restoration of his and his son's military academy for the corporate headquarters, show that the brand was established on a deep emotional level. When we look at the conservative political history of his uncle, who signed the 1956 Southern Manifesto and voted against civil rights laws, a clear pattern emerges. Evans's later decisions regarding discriminatory policies feel like an ideological extension of his brand's traditional Southern country theme. Because of this deep personal and ideological connection, later attempts to modernize the brand were seen as a departure from its core values, leading to a strong public backlash. If you want to know about more interesting brands like Cracker Barrel, subscribe to our channel. The so-called past, a history of ideological and corporate struggle. To understand the recent logo controversy, it is important to know the past history of Cracker Barrel, as this is not the first time the company's values have come under public scrutiny. In the early 1990s, Cracker Barrel introduced a policy that put its principles as a company at risk and questioned its founder's vision. In January 1991, Cracker Barrel's headquarters issued a company-wide memorandum ordering that all employees who failed to demonstrate normal heterosexual values be fired. Although the exact number of fired employees is unknown, at least 16 individuals came forward stating their dismissal was due to their sexual orientation. This included a cook named Cheryl Somerville, who was fired from a Cracker Barrel in Douglasville, Georgia, and became a symbol of the movement. The policy was reported and condemned by media across the country. In addition, other complaints of discrimination emerged, including segregated seating for black customers and denial of service. In response to this public backlash, activists like Carl Owens and civil rights organizations organized protests and sit-ins at restaurant locations throughout the Southeast. Owens launched an innovative Buy One campaign, encouraging LGBTQ+ individuals and their supporters to buy single shares of company stock to gain a voice in corporate governance. Large shareholders like the New York City Employee Retirement System also intervened, using their $3 million in shares to pressure Cracker Barrel to change the policy and even threatening to remove the entire senior management. As a result of this pressure, the company retracted the employment policy based on sexual orientation, but initially did not reinstate the fired employees. This struggle continued for several years and ultimately had dramatic consequences. In 2001, shareholders removed Dan Evins from the position of CEO, and he remained only as chairman of the board until his retirement in 2004. The same year, the board unanimously voted in favor of adding sexual orientation to the company's non-discrimination policy, which was officially approved the following year. This history highlights an important fact. Cracker Barrel's traditional values were never immutable and could be challenged by market forces and the power of shareholders. Evans's personal ideologies, reflected in the company's policies, provoked a reaction from the public and investors, which ended with him losing control of the company and a formal policy change. The history of this struggle explains why the recent logo controversy is not a new event, but a reflection of a long-standing tension between the brand's old identity and its corporate reality. If you want to watch more informative videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can stay updated with new information. The All the More campaign, a brand's search for relevance. The recent changes at Cracker Barrel are not sudden, but are part of a larger $700 million business strategy called the All the More campaign. Given the decline in customers and revenue in recent years, these changes are a direct response to financial difficulties. CEO Julie Fels-Massino's goal is to make Cracker Barrel a relevant and appealing brand for today and for tomorrow. This campaign includes several elements besides the logo change. The company has begun renovating its restaurants and stores, replacing old artifacts with lighter colors and modern furniture. Additionally, menu changes have been made, including new seasonal and healthier options. However, the most controversial aspect of this campaign is the logo change, which becomes even more interesting after understanding its history. Many people see a permanent identity in the logo, but in reality, the Cracker Barrel logo has changed several times before. Logo evolution. 1969. The original logo was text-only, with the company's name written in a yellow Western-style font. 1977. A new logo was introduced featuring a man leaning against a barrel. This logo was designed by Bill Hawley, a designer from a Nashville advertising agency. He based it on founder Dan Evins's childhood memory of an older gentleman sitting on a front porch in overalls. The character was nicknamed Old Timer. Although he is often publicly associated with Evins's real uncle, Uncle Herschel, the character was not based on a real person. 2024. The new logo once again returns to the old, text-only design. It removes the man and the words Old Country Store and has adopted a simple and modern look. The company states that this change is based on the original barrel shape and word mark, which symbolizes its beginning in 1969. It is important to understand that this change is not a temporary trend, but a strategic response to financial pressure. The data clearly indicates that this is a business decision aimed at stopping the decline in revenue and attracting new customers. However, the company's own message has failed to effectively explain this purpose. Cracker Barrel states that the man in the logo, also known as Uncle Herschel, is still front and center in the restaurants and on the menu, representing their Herschel way of hospitality. This is a complex and ambiguous message. To claim that a beloved character is still a crucial part of the brand after removing him from the logo creates a clear contradiction. This contradiction fueled public anger and reinforced the narrative that the decision was made merely due to woke trends, not out of business necessity. The public's reckoning, reaction, and cultural war. The unveiling of Cracker Barrel's new logo was met with a fierce public reaction on social media. The scope of this reaction went beyond mere dislike for a new design and became part of a broader cultural and political war. A digital firestorm erupted on platforms like Twitter, now X, Reddit, and Instagram. Users expressed their anger and disappointment, calling the logo just so ugly and saying it was infected with the beige modern minimalism clean girl aesthetic virus. Many demanded bring the old logo back with Grandpa and called the change a betrayal of the brand's nostalgia. This public outrage was immediately politicized, especially by conservative media and figures. Leaders like Donald Trump Jr. condemned the company's move, saying Cracker Barrel had also gone woke. The logo change was compared to the 2023 Bud Light movement, with critics calling it Cracker Barrel's Bud Light moment. They accused the company of removing a white man from the logo and blamed DEI initiatives for it. On the other hand, left-leaning figures mocked this anger and sarcastically referenced the company's past discriminatory policies. The financial consequences of this cultural war were immediate and clear. After the logo was unveiled, Cracker Barrel's stock price plummeted by 7 to 12%, losing over $90 million in market value in a single day. This stock drop was direct proof that the public's outrage was not just online noise, but had a direct financial impact. It proved that the market acknowledged the skepticism of investors and customers regarding this business strategy. CEO Julie Fells-Massino faced this intense reaction and defended her strategy, saying the response the company received was overwhelmingly positive and that they are headed in the right direction. However, the public outrage and the stock price drop made it clear that her message did not reach the public effectively. Final analysis: the tension between tradition and innovation. This is not just a story about a logo change. It is a continuous struggle between tradition and modernity. Only time will tell what the future holds for Cracker Barrel. But it is clear that a brand's identity is not just about design, but also about people's memories and emotions. So, what do you think? Was the old Cracker Barrel logo better or the new one? Be sure to share your opinion in the comments. And if you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with more interesting and informative videos like this. We'll see you soon with a new video. Take care of yourselves.